All right, guys, welcome to the show. We got Gilbert, Ashtin, Robert, Ceser, and Joey, dude. Hey, it's a rally for wrestling for the school board meeting, which will have a wrestling agenda item. So we'll let you guys take it, man. Take it from there. Yeah, let them talk, okay?
Yeah. So hey, thank you guys for having us back. I'm sorry I didn't make the Sunday meeting or the Sunday time, but my little sister got married. I had to, walk her down the aisle and have that honors, and I didn't wake up early enough. Those Mexican meetings or those Mexican weddings last a little longer than normal. But thank you guys for having me again. I thought it'd be a good idea to bring one of my best friends along to join us, because this man right here, if you don't know Coach Joey, he's responsible for the success. The last 20 years of Selma wrestling is built under his hands, and who else to have on this show than him.
Thank you, Joey.
Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome.
So, hey, so I noticed that we're starting to see a lot of views on this podcast. Over 2,500 views. I noticed that the school board meeting also had about 800 views.
Yeah, wow.
So it's this issue is becoming, it's out there, and people are starting to talk, and that's what we need. That support. People sharing information and just helping, along the way. This is getting real exciting. And on Tuesday, right? Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Tuesday, big school board meeting. The wrestling facility is on the agenda as an action item.
Yep.
Which means it's going to be voted on.
Yep.
So this is the time. This is the time for everyone to come through and support. If you ever wrestled or had any or bought a T-shirt, supported us, come out and just show up and just support us. Thing is, this is bigger than just wrestling. We have to invest in our youth, and especially in this town, a lot of issues going on. So, it's kind of hard to fix an adult when they're already set in their ways. But, if you can get to the youth, you get to the kids before, somebody else does, give them the right mentor, then, we're going to be all right. But a lot of times we're going to need this facility to grow our program. Wrestling's an indoor sport, so we can't just go out there and roll out a mat. Like basketball or anybody else, like football, they can go outside, play in the grass, get better. Wrestling, you need a place to go. So, if it was that easy, we were an outdoor sport, then great. Having a facility wouldn't be a problem. But it's an indoor sport, and we're limited to space, and it's kind of tough, and it's hard when you have to turn away kids because you're limited to the amount of kids you could have in your facility because you're so small. But, building this room, we're bringing more kids. It'll increase the numbers at the junior high. It's a feeder program. The youth could, also practice there, high school, junior high. Of course, not at the same time. You can't do that. But, having that facility will give us those options where we could have practice times, more space, more youth wrestlers. Right now we have about 50 kids in the year-round program, and probably another 30 in the seasonal program. So those numbers will double if we just have the space. So now you're looking at over 150 kids.
Yeah, I was telling Gilbert that this wrestling thing, it's becoming more and more popular these days. We see. With the expansion of like the UFC and Bellator, all those fight organizations, there's a lot of parents out looking for self-defense classes, or and parents that are getting involved in those mixed martial arts, the mixed martial arts events, and they know that wrestling is a foundation. If you look at all those champions in the UFC, they all come from a wrestling background. That just goes to show you how tough wrestlers are. we talk about this all the time. We talk about, you know, the mindset and the mentality that you have to have just to practice for 2 hours, you know. And then you're practicing under the worst conditions, like, you know, hot room, and, you know, you haven't even ate sometimes, you know, you're cutting weight, and, you know, you're sitting there doing, you know, push-up after push-up and move after move and drill. And, you know, the 2 hours every day of like a grind like that. And then on top of that, some of our other kids they're, you know, some kids are doing private training somewhere else, and they're, you know, weightlifting programs and going to their special coaches. But, you know, the room that we have right now, the things that we're dealing with, you know, you've heard us say we roll these mats out and then we got to disinfect them or try to disinfect them. You know, they're so beat up you can't even do that. But it takes away at least 35 minutes of the time. You know, I think that a proper facility, you know, these mats are rolled out. We can utilize that time, that 30 minutes, to help kids, help them, you know, improve, or, you know, get them out early, get them home so they can start their homework, you know. Some of these kids show up on campus at like 7:45 in the morning and then don't get home till 7 o'clock at night, you know.
Right.
Yeah. It's almost a 12-hour shift, you know. If anybody's ever worked a 12-hour shift, you can only do that so many times.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, when you mentioned the 2,500 views, and even the school one went up to about 800, close to 800, shows you the popularity too.
Yeah, this is a big. This is becoming a big issue.
Yeah,
you know,
this is
and about the support too. You know, man, coaches, you guys out there that have been side by side with us, that are, you know, grew with us and pushed us along the way. You need to come out. You need to support us too. You need to help spread this awareness that, you know, man, Selma wrestling needs a little boost. Needs a little help.
And it's international. It's not just national. It's international. Our coaches, our families, our kids, our community deserves it. It's well overdue. Well overdue. I'm guessing 40 to 50 years overdue. Without a home, that's the whole point. Without a facility, they deserve it. We've earned it. Our kids have earned it. Our parents have earned it. Our coaches have earned it.
Yeah.
You know, there was I had a parent call me and said that her son was back east, and he's at school, and he watched the podcast, and he
nice.
he watched the live, you know, the school board,
the meeting. Yeah.
He was fired up out there. He sees it. You know, somebody's got to listen up there. Somebody's got to get this ball moving, because, man, we're getting pushed aside like it ain't a big issue, but this is a big issue. This is affecting you know, the future of our community, you know, our kids.
Well, and now I've noticed that the girls team is expanding as well.
Yeah.
And you guys are pushing out some really, really good
we're
wrestlers.
Limited on the space. Going back to the space, you know, you have almost 50 kids on the roster on 2 mats, and that's really unsafe. It's a safety issue now. Now it's a safety issue because those mats, you know, they don't stay taped together. They're already warped. They're not fitting flush anymore because they're always being rolled out. They're not meant to do that. The only time you're supposed to roll up a mat is when you're moving it to another spot, and then you roll it out again, you leave it. But what it's doing is creating gaps. So when the kids are wrestling, now you have so many kids on there. Now there's more of an issue, more of a risk of kids rolling into someone else and falling back, knee injuries, ankle injuries, broken ankles. And I've been coaching, you know, for 23 years now. I was head coach at the junior high, co-head coach at the high school, and I've seen these injuries. I dislocated my finger drilling with a kid, you know, when he got caught in between the gap of the mat. I've seen kids, you know, lose their season because they break their ankle because it gets caught between those gaps. The tape doesn't hold. You know, they just keep giving us more tape up the mat. All right, well, it's not working no more because the mat's already, it's not fitting flush anymore. So, you know, and those mats, they shift. You have so many kids on there that, you know, the mats are shifting. They shift because you don't have wall-to-wall mats.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what people need to understand.
And what about the sanitary part of it? I mean,
so when these mats are brand new, they come in, there's no creases on them. You roll them out and you'll see the brand new, flat, no creases. You mop them up. Yeah. And they stay clean. But when you're doing this, rolling them up, rolling them out every single day, it starts to create the creases. and then that bacteria sits in those creases. Now that's going to cause ringworm, impetigo, and staph infection, which you do not want kids to get because it can be deadly. It's like a flesh-eating bacteria. It's going to eat a hole right through your skin. And it's going to scar your skin.
And have we had our kids with staph infection?
Yes, we've had several kids with staph. My son had staph infection on his head, still has a scar. We had another kid one year that had a hole in his face. We had to patch, pull out the gauze, clean them up, squeeze a little bit out, clean them up, and then stuff the gauze back in, and then patch them up and then send them home because, of course, he couldn't practice. Right. But he would come to us as coaches to do it because his parents weren't home. They were working. Yeah. So, we've had several issues like that. We've had kids with impetigo and getting it at a tournament is one thing because, it's a lot of high traffic. But you're getting it at practice, like it shouldn't be happening.
And that stuff spreads too to teammates and siblings.
Yeah, and then now your family's getting it. Now even the dog gets it.
Yeah. There was a time my son got sent home because his teacher said he was contagious.
Yeah. So we can't send our kids to school now because now skin infection is a huge issue, and the reason why is because these mats they have those creases, they're cracking, and once the mats crack, it exposes the foam. So once the foam is exposed, it's done.
And they want us to tape these mats up, right? You put tape down and then you mop them. All this water gets in there under the tape, and it just makes more problems, But what was funny is the solution that the AD had. This is comical. He wanted us to tape the mats every day, and then when the tape got so expensive, because it's about $350 a box, that box will last maybe a couple of days, maybe. Wow. He wanted us to recycle it. He wanted us to reuse it. This is crazy.
And that's for our Selma kids.
That's what our high school team and our junior high team deals with. Yeah.
Selma, we're better than that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So Tuesday night's the big vote.
5:30.
So there's 5 trustees, 5 board members are going to make this decision, man.
Yeah.
So if people can't get to the meeting, the one big thing they can do is go online. Go online, go to Selma Unified, go under the trustees, and all 5 of them are labeled there, man. And then you could reach out, email them, get a hold of them, and tell them you support.
You could call them.
Yeah, call them. Yeah, there's a lot of things you could do, man. Yeah. So you want that support coming. That way they know it. They feel, hey, man, they feel it.
Yeah. Yeah, so, a lot of the reason why you get so much dirt in that room is because it's high traffic areas. You're not supposed to have a wrestling practice area, for wrestling in a high traffic area like that. Every single day. Wrestling's a winter sport. So you got PE going into the NPR and, they're tracking in mud, dirt every single day. Yeah. Then we go in and there's so much dirt, mud, we have to sweep the floor first, and it's not going to get all that, And
it's probably Selma Wrestling's got to be the most popular sport in town, easily.
Easily.
Yeah.
Known,
we're
like you said,
a wrestling town.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had our time.
There's generations of wrestling families here that go back to the 60s and 70s. Even not long ago, surprisingly. Old wrestler Romero Perechica reached out. He's an old Selma wrestler, but they grew up. His family grew up in Kingsburg. His boy reached out to get his kid in our youth program, and man, that's an honor. That's a big wrestling family in that area, and he's reaching out over here to
the rival town.
And that's pretty cool. That's cool. We do our youth program, the club. We do take kids from surrounding areas because some of these. Schools they don't have what we have here. We focus on our kids at a young age, and that comes from the generations of families. Every wrestling family thinks let's start my kid when he's 5 or 4. We've had kids so young like they're still wearing diapers.
Wow. Robert, if I can ask you a question, as successful as you guys have been to this point. How successful do you think Selma Wrestling will be with a brand new facility?
Good question. Man, that's a good question, and that I say it's hard to answer because we've been so limited, we don't know what our full potential is. But here's what's really cool and exciting. You know, I brought this up. You know, for 20 something years he's been coaching, and I've been putting in work.
Yeah,
you know,
thanks, man. That's big.
you know,
you, man.
yeah,
Both of you guys.
yeah, no problem. But you know, we're those kids that we've been mentoring and coaching, they're all graduating from college now. You know, and they're coming back. Yeah, they're calling left and right. They're ready to start coaching and taking the reins. And you know, back when when we
back to
started,
the
you know, it was just because he had a boy and I had a boy, and we thought,
Nice.
hey, let's start coaching some kids and make them tough. And then their friends started getting good, and then the neighbors started to wrestle, and you know, it started to grow. And that's 20 something years ago. Our boys now are 22,
23,
and my son's 20, and you know, he's coming back to coach, man. That's going to be special, you know. And he's considered one of the most dominant Division III wrestlers. He's
NCAA,
yeah, he's
Out of Selma.
Out of Selma. Yeah, he's got awarded the most dominant Division III wrestler, and man, he's gonna come back and start coaching. You know, how cool is that? You know, my little son gets to get coached by, you know, college athletes that are, you know, like have credentials and credibility. You know, they're guys who actually won nationals and things like that.
That's pretty
So,
awesome. And it kind of seemed like a unifying thing too, right? I mean, I was surprised at the last meeting when it didn't go, you know, go the way we were hoping. But, you know, here it is.
Well, and that's what we have to make our kids priority, our coaches, our families, our community, Selma.
Yeah.
That has to be priority.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I think the whole community would rally around this.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't think a lot of people feel like or think that coaches get paid money.
You guys probably pay out a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, dude, the amount of money, no way. It doesn't come close. Like, you know, you get a little stipend, you know, but
Yeah.
you end up in debt at the end of the season, you know. And you know, we basically do this for free. You know,
Yeah.
we're not salary. We don't get a weekly check. You know, none of these coaches do.
Yeah,
You know,
it's this mentorship and this coaching thing. Like I said it a long time ago to him. I said, man, we're never gonna get rich coaching, you know, and you don't get rich financially, but you know, right here, rich inside,
Yeah,
rich in the
that's what it
soul.
is.
That's what keeps us going, you know.
And it's a lot deeper. You develop these boys into men, these girls into women,
Yeah.
and they become successful through
Yeah.
our community, through our country. That's what we want, and that's being put out of Selma.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
yeah.
why we shall reward our kids, our community, and our coaches for the outstanding work you guys do.
Several kids, like not just, you know, college opportunities, but they go off to the military. There's kids that have done that. There's you know, just what we're teaching in that room and with the day-to-day wrestling instruction. You know, we're teaching so much more like discipline. We're teaching all the core values of sportsmanship. We're teaching, you know, how to be competitive. You know, because in the real world, life it's
tough.
competitive.
Yeah, it's
man.
competitive.
People want your job. People want your.
And no one's gonna feel sorry for you. You gotta be able to pick yourself up, walk off the mat.
That's
pay
it,
your
yeah,
dues, and
dude.
that's it. Like,
Not only that, you know, man, there's so much more that the sport does for you, and if you just had the ability to have more coaches, you have opportunity to coach more kids, and you need space. You need to be able to put everybody in the right and proper place.
And check this out, man. I got two big time coaches for us, right? Ex-cop on campus. Father on the school site council, parent club, 2 ex-board members. We were parent club. We're all uniting, man, to support wrestling. That's badass. That's badass.
It's to support our community.
Yeah, it's
Our kids, man.
Our kids.
Yeah, just like what we were saying, this is bigger than wrestling.
it
This
is,
is to
It
improve
is-
our
it
talent.
is
See,
bigger.
I mean,
Dang.
coaches, all the coaches we have coaching right now, they don't get paid anything. They're doing it because they care. They do it because they live here. Or some of them don't even live here. We have a coach that lives in Carruthers, but he dedicates himself to Selma
here.
wrestling.
Wow.
And he's here. He drives over here every single day.
Every day.
You know,
for the
and
love.
because he
kids.
loves what we're doing here, and then it's huge. I don't think people understand what this program is about. Like
Yeah.
it's we're trying to provide a place, because let's face it, not everyone's a ball player.
Yeah.
No, true.
Not all of us can play ball. Man.
Yeah, that's true, dude.
Me and this guy weren't that
100%.
great at playing ball, so we wrestled.
Yeah, I couldn't even see the ball.
I don't know if you ever seen a wrestler play basketball. It's the worst thing that you ever, But speaking of that, like building a facility for wrestling will also benefit a team like basketball, because that high school team is, they end practice probably about 6:30. Then you have either girls basketball or boys JV coming in to practice. So if the wrestling team is walking out at 6:30, and then the basketball team is walking in at that time, so they're probably starting practice around 7.
Yeah.
2-hour practice, basic practice, 2 hours.
Just to clarify that, what the high school wrestling team right now practices in a multi-purpose room, and that multi-purpose room is used for different things like PE and basketball. So what Coach Joey's saying is, wrestling gets the room right after school. We practice, we roll out our mats, practice, roll them up, and by about 6:30, the basketball team is walking in there. Now you got kids, high school kids that are out 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, at their practice.
At their practice.
Which and that's how these multi-purpose facilities work. You gotta share it.
So now you're looking at, some kids don't have transportation home, so you're getting a kid walking across town, and who knows where they might be living. Not every side of town is nice, so you have that kid walking home like at 9 o'clock.
Everything is impacted by
and the way things are right now. We just lost a police officer.
Oh yeah.
And now we have kids walking home at night at 9 o'clock, 8:30. I don't want my kid out at dark.
We also lost a teenager.
Yeah, and a teenager. There you go. And we're supposed to be about our kids.
That's right.
This money should be going towards the kids. We're supposed to be investing in our youth.
Exactly.
And that's what we got to do. We just got to rally together. This benefits it's not just about the wrestling program. It benefits the basketball team too, because I'm pretty sure those parents who have kids on that basketball team would rather have their kid home at 6 o'clock rather than at 9.
Yeah.
No,
it's true, man. And the board is, we vote for those guys. They're our representatives.
Yeah.
That's why this video, try to rally people. Hey, man, let them know this is what we want. This is what we want.
The word's out. All week, even last week, I was getting stopped, at the grocery store. Mm-hmm. People talking about it everywhere I go. I'm hearing about it, like people's works. They're discussing this issue, and it doesn't seem like not too many people disagree with this. They
don't.
This is wrestling here is a big deal, and you guys, the community, we know what it does for a city like this. It allows us.
Let me interrupt you there, Robert. Okay, I'm sorry, but who disagrees with it?
I haven't heard it. I mean,
who disagrees with it, Roger?
Well, in the last video, it was a district. Remember? No one supported Mrs. Alanis when she was trying to motion to make it an action item on this meeting, and it is an action item now.
So everybody in the community is supporting it.
Yeah,
great point,
Kids
Gilbert.
are supporting it.
Yeah.
So the only person that's not supporting it, or the people,
are the representatives.
Are the representatives.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're telling you to support it.
So we need to get these representatives to listen
what a
to
great
us
point.
and to know that we need this.
Yeah. There's we canceled practice for Tuesday. There's not a single practice in Selma. All those kids will be there. I'm sure there's going to be more people in that building. I'm sure the views on their live stream is going to go up. This is a serious issue, and we're where we need to be. We need to let them know that this is what the people want and what the program needs.
No, you're right, man.
20 years of kids you guys have put out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Between us.
Wow.
Tell them
It's awesome.
Tell them to get there Tuesday, man.
Yeah, get there Tuesday.
Please get there Tuesday. Support our community. Support our kids.
Yep.
It's a national team. It's
Dude,
national.
you know how big it is? I was mowing my mom's lawn, 7 o'clock in the morning before work. I get a call from Mark Barola. Because they tell those guys, I said, hi, shout out. Mark Barola says, hey, what can I do? Man, you show up. He goes, okay, man, I'm going to show up. I'm going to call my rep. Call him.
There you go.
And then he texts me back. I call my rep. He's going to back it. I said, all right, hope he does.
That's
If he
excellent.
told you that, hold him to it, man. That's how you do it. You ask them, and they say it, you hold them to it.
Yep.
That's what you do, man. I mean, it's not to be mean-spirited or nothing, but we want it.
Yep.
They deserve it. They've earned
They
it.
deserve it. The kids
Wrestling-
deserve it.
These kids have been wrestling in the grass pretty much, basically, you know, since
Forever.
since the beginning. So 1966. I mean, you heard Coach Q talk about that they were practicing in the grass until they got on a mat. But you know, that is still going on at the junior high. You know, those kids. I mean, I coached at the junior high. We've wrestled in the junior high, and it's still the same issue.
Yeah, so the community wants it. It has to be done.
We all want it. 2 ex-board members.
So,
And that was the issue when the middle school was at Roosevelt.
at Roosevelt, yeah.
That was the same issue. Roll up the mat. Put it on the stage.
Oh man, their conditions are even worse. You got 12, 13, 14-year-old kids picking up tables and rolling things around. Like, what if that falls on somebody?
Yeah.
You know, like what?
And not only that, they parked the golf cart right next to the wrestling mat. So there you have a cart and that you have to worry about when you're getting taken down.
Selma Unified has been real lucky. They haven't caught a lawsuit.
Yeah, and that's the thing. What is it going to take? Is it going to take someone getting seriously injured?
It's going to take for our community to rally on Tuesday.
Well,
And make it happen.
Well, I think
Make it happen.
getting back to the
Selma.
point, no one said anything negative on it. We just need our representatives to do their job.
Yeah.
That's it. Plain and simple, right? there.
That's it. Do your job.
Everybody wants it.
Yeah,
We
I
all
mean,
want it.
you see
I
it
already told my rep.
on
told my
Facebook.
rep.
It's
I
all,
told all 5.
Yeah, on Facebook you see the support too. That, you know, people are in disbelief that a program like this doesn't have a wrestling room. You know, it's Coach Joey brought up a thing. Just right now he was talking about the amount of college coaches that come and visit us.
Some of the best coaches in the country.
Some of the best coaches, and they walk in and
One of them just won a team title, NCAA, Penn State. You know,
Wow.
and you know, we got
he's been
Michigan
here.
Wolverines
He's been here to
coming.
watch our practice.
Here in Selma?
Arizona
Yeah,
State,
and
all those coaches, big time coaches.
And they can't believe we don't have a wrestling.
Yeah.
They can't believe it.
Well, so 5 guys will decide this on Tuesday night.
5 board members.
5 board members. I don't know how they wouldn't do it, but
Yeah, I had an opportunity to speak to my rep, and you know, I asked that she please support it, and I've made a commitment. I made a commitment at the last board meeting. You know, if we could see this through and see some serious change and some support, you know, I give you my word. You know, I give you my word. I'm going to stick around for a little while. I got a 5-year-old nephew that just started wrestling, so this program's it's gonna still flourish as long as, you know, my family's around. And I know Coach Joey, he always says he's gonna retire, but he just says that.
Well, what's fascinating is the wrestlers that you guys are putting out, whether they're boys or girls, they're becoming men and women,
Yeah,
and they're
productive
coming back.
members.
And you're coming back.
dude,
Members of society.
dude, my wife doesn't.
Generational change.
My wife doesn't.
Generational change.
My wife doesn't even pay attention to anything with sports, but she knows Selma wrestling, dude.
Yeah.
She tells me everybody loves wrestling.
Yeah.
Dude.
The kids, when they wear their gear to school, you know, teachers always like complimenting them and telling them, and you know, that's really cool because we have to explain to them, you know, like, yeah, that's what it feels like to win. You know, that's what it feels like to be winners. You know, this is your whole life gets set up to see good things if you just stay on this right path of, you know, competing your best, you know, showing up and showing consistency and it's keeping your grades. You know, this is not just about sports, man. You know, I mean,
It's a way of life.
yeah, you know, wrestling. The only way I could wrestle, my dad would tell me, is if I got good grades. Now, I didn't get the best grades, but wrestling, it kept me in school long enough, and then eventually that led to college. You know, in college, same thing. You got to stay eligible, and eventually that led to a degree. And you know, I was the first person, you know, in my family to graduate with a degree in college, and I'm proud of that. And I know that wrestling was the only reason why I was really there for the majority of, you know, my education. You know, now it's turned me into a business owner and, you know, an entrepreneur, and I have that wrestling mindset of like, you know, life is not that hard, because going through a wrestling season is harder than anything you can do.
It builds you.
One of the things I noticed in that dining hall, it said that this is an anti-bully.
Oh yeah. Place.
Place,
Yeah.
you know, a district or school.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? Wrestling is the only place where kids can learn some type of self-defense. You know,
There you go.
Yeah, bullying's real.
I mean,
Bullying's
real.
we actually have a good story that one of the kids, well, we've had several kids, but one in particular, one of the kids, he was being picked on at the junior high. Real small, not too many friends, you know.
Yeah,
And
70 pounds.
70-pound kid, you know, and kids eating lunch in the office.
He's hiding.
And so one of the kids comes and he's like, "Hey, coach, there's a kid that always." I was like, "Well, why don't you guys start walking into class and you know, just get him to hang out with you because a lot of people are picking on him because maybe he doesn't have a lot of friends or the friends he has, maybe there's only one or two of them."
Yeah.
And so they start bringing this kid around and starts coming in. Next thing you know, he starts wrestling.
Awesome.
And then he starts building up, and then he starts training.
Builds that confidence.
And if you see a picture of this kid when he started, where he's at now, you would not. I mean, the kid is just
massive.
bench press the weight room he wrestles for.
He just finished his
graduated,
college
yeah.
career.
You built him from the inside out.
Yeah,
There you go,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot on that. You know, they say wrestling is like 90% mental. You know, so when we always talk about that, and
We need this summer.
we
Right.
we started to develop our own ways of like mentally training kids. You know, and we've taken programs. There's a program out there called Mindset, and we've learned from that. But man, we've been applying that stuff 20 years before we even heard of that program. And you know, you're building their confidence. You're encouraging them every day. You know, there's kids who they'll say, you know, without you, I didn't know I was capable of, that, or and man, that's the stuff we put together in a garage one day, you know, chopping it up and
that's it, man.
talking about how can we change, you know, the culture and the environment for our youth, you know. And it's not rocket science.
Yeah,
And this is the next step to even make it better.
Yeah,
to make
This
it
is the
better.
next step to
Just
make
get-
it better.
just-
Generational.
To reach that many more homes.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Dang.
You know, so I
Pretty
mean,
awesome.
this is an outlet for kids that are being bullied.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I mean? I hate to bring this kind of stuff up, but you know, I don't know how many bullies go and run into a wrestler, and you ask them how it worked out.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah, dude.
you know.
Yeah.
I mean, and it has happened. It has happened. You know, and we've had some of our kids that had bully issues at the school, and they go through the proper ways to dealing with it, and the kid doesn't stop. I mean, eventually,
take care of yourself.
yeah,
Self-defense, like you said.
you gotta help yourself sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
But wrestling it doesn't teach you to
Self-confidence.
Yeah, it's self-confidence, and it doesn't teach you to be aggressive. It teaches you how to control the
Oh,
situation.
it teaches you how to be humble too,
Yeah.
man. I don't know how many
Well, heck.
monsters I ran into. I thought I was a tough guy on the mat, and got beat up on the
Yeah.
mat, and it's a humbling experience. You
Yeah,
get up.
it really teaches you how to take a loss, and how to pick yourself up, and you're not always going to win, and you're not always going to get a medal for.
Yeah,
You're not going to
doing
get anything if you don't win.
Yeah.
Like, so you got to figure stuff out.
We teach these kids to be tough, and we push them every day. There's people out there that'll give you a job just for the fact that they know you competed and wrestled. Because
Yeah, then you get discipline.
You're
Yeah.
tough. Yeah, you're tough. You're prepared for whatever elements they throw at you.
Exactly. So this facility, being built, it benefits these kids that are bullied. That people probably don't know who's getting bullied because they're staying quiet about it. But wrestling gives those kids that chance, that opportunity to build themselves and to learn something, learn a skill that's going to carry.
And if you say one kid,
Yeah.
that facility is
Worth it.
absolutely
Worth
it.
every penny.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're a part of something great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anybody that joins Selma Wrestling
Yeah.
immediately is part of something great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're part of the team,
I
you're
mean,
part of the family.
Going back to like what we give the community, there's a sense of pride when you say you're from Selma, and the first thing they
Hell
say, they're like, "Oh man, you guys got a good wrestling program."
Yeah, that's what they say.
I've had people tell me that at the gas station. I'm like, "Hey, I'm one of the coaches, man. Like, we helped build this."
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. There's a big sense of pride. There's
Yeah.
Selma's known for wrestling and raisins, right?
Yeah. Well, that pride has to show up Tuesday night, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Most definitely, Selma.
So,
Let's
Tuesday
go.
night, we'll shoot this
Tuesday
video
night.
everywhere, try to rally people. It's a big deal because I think you said it best when like who's against it? Nobody.
I mean,
We need the board
we haven't
members
ran
to
into
hear it.
anyone that says
Yeah.
no. You know.
So the representatives have to understand. You know, I don't know what's going on. They have to understand.
Yeah, well, they have to understand that they need to listen to the child. And do what's
community.
best for the child.
Child, the community, the parents.
Right. I don't know who's talking to them or what they're talking about, but it's not about the kid. They're talking about adult stuff. If they were talking about the benefits to the child, it would have been 5-0.
It would have already happened.
It would have already happened.
Yeah. So Tuesday night, we got to make it happen.
Yeah. Tuesday night.
All right, man. Tuesday night, let's rally.
Let's go, Selma.
Let's go.
All right,
Yeah,
guys.
for sure. Thank you.
Hey, thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Thanks, coaches.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Thank
Thank you for
guys.
coming.
Thank you.
Thanks.